whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hook of force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Hoki mai rā e ngā iwi
Hoki mai.
Ki te aha, ki te punua pāho o Taringa.
Taringa, ai. Tēnā tātou e te iwi, e te ao whānui. Here we are, coming at you from the bustling metropolis of Te Awamatu.
Beep, 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 beep.
I just got to say, it's so nice to have some light in our studio for once.
So you all know, we sit in this dark room. It's got 4 walls. It's black.
It's soundproofed
It's
out.
soundproof, and I never knew it had windows behind those soundproof things.
Yes, and we come in here today and someone's let the light in.
Yep, and may we let some light perhaps into your lives as you listen to us today.
Yes.
Tēnā
Yes.
koe te. So, ko māua no tēnei, ko praone tēnei, māua ko Erica Sinclair,
Ai.
teuri o te whānāpa nui, and
Ai.
photographer extraordinaire.
I am sitting here with Parone Gloin, our te reo Māori, what would you call yourself?
Yeah, what would you call me?
I'll just call you a bit of a tohunga, even though you're young.
Ooh.
To me, anyway.
Thanks.
You're like up here, and I'm down here still finding my way. So
I'm
you're a tohunga in my journey.
I am humbled. I just want to do a little plug though. So I was at a book launch this morning.
Yes.
So I was given the honour to launch a book, and it was a children's book
Oh, cool.
penned by Raukura Roa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I think her and her younger sister Anne Roa, who's gone over, she's moved to Korea,
Yeah.
or Korea. And Hariru Roa, the other younger sister, has been on Taringa.
Yes, she has.
Yeah, she used to work for Te Wānanga o te Roa. And her pepe, Hene Korikori,
Yeah.
stars in the book.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I launched it today. Well, they launched it today. I got to do the karakia for it, and I got all this lovely wairua from the tamariki I was with this morning.
Yeah.
It just sort of invigorated me with, because I'm involved in a lot of heavy kaupapa, I would say, and things. And it was just good to get in there with the tamariki
And a
today.
little
And
uplifting one.
yeah.
What's the book about? Is it about Hine Korikori or?
Yeah, it's a read along. It's a read along book. Well, I think it's a read along. Well, we read along with it anyway because Raukura, she read the book. They had it on big screen, and she read with it and sort of done the white, and all the kids in the kaiako got into it. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
So I'm going to put a plug in there for the book. It's called Ngāi Areare e kare.
Ngāi Areare e kare.
Ngāi Areare e kare. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's got a website or anything, but we'll put some details up on our Taringa page. I think it would be a great book to read along to ngā kōhungahunga. Yeah.
Ka ngaro.
Ka ngaro.
That's awesome. I love to hear about Māori people doing cool Māori stuff.
That's right. E harai te mea I mau te aro atu. Wasn't a waste of time. No.
Nice segue.
Yeah.
Nice segue.
I had to do it.
Mau te aro atu is our kiwaha for this week. A translation for that would be waste of time or waste of time paying attention to that.
Yeah. Waste of time. Mau te aro atu.
Mau te aro atu.
Yeah, mau te aro atu.
Whenever I hear that word, actually, I always think of mau kai, mau tangata I te pō.
Yeah.
From back in Tūhoi.
Well, whenever I hear momo, I just think momo kai or momo.
Yeah.
That was where we grew up with. So do something if you're not using it or you're wasting it, it's momo. Yeah, so don't waste your time. And I said one before was wait a timer.
Yeah, that cracked me up. What a transliteration.
Yeah, that's from your relations. I've heard that from down the coast.
Not surprised.
Yeah, wait the timer.
Wait the timer.
Yeah. So momo te aro atu. Don't pay any waste of time paying attention. Don't even, yeah. So momo te aro atu.
Mau te aro atu. Patapatai. Patapatai.
Oh, here we go.
Part 3.
Wāhanga tuatoru.
Alright. So we've been really enjoying these ones, actually.
Have you now?
Oh, I said we have.
No,
so
we have.
I'm hoping you have.
Yeah, no, I have. I thought you meant like we, like you and the audience, everybody that's listening. But now I am enjoying them
no,
too.
I haven't been enjoying them, but it's really interesting to just go from these suggestions from Facebook and see where it takes you.
Yep.
It's been cool.
And this is really about what wānanga is as well.
Yeah.
So wānanga as a noun is a place of learning, and wānanga as a verb is discussion, deliberation, talking, sharing of thoughts, sharing of kōrero. So yeah,
That's awesome.
And learning. Yeah.
What an awesome meaning to the word wānanga.
Yes, and there you go. And if you want, you can come to te wānanga o Aotearoa. You know, I've had people feedback that, you know, we don't actually go OTT pushing te wānanga o Aotearoa, because I think Taringa wasn't born out of that. So, you know, we're not doing any placement advertising or, I mean, everybody knows that this is a wānanga initiative anyway, so I don't have to be saying te wānanga o Aotearoa.
Yeah, hard up.
Like te wānanga o Aotearoa, like every 3 seconds te wānanga o Aotearoa.
Well, if we've done that, then people won't want to listen to us anymore.
That's right. So, pātai.
Since we were just talking about the Roa sisters and you mentioned Raukura, that reminded me of how recently I was at the Ngāti Haua Kūrero.
Oh, tika.
And Raukura actually was taking the karanga wānanga
That's
with
right.
all the ladies.
Yep.
Man, she was awesome. But I just see here, we had a suggestion from Tia Mac, and she wanted us to talk about karanga, whaikõrero, and karakia Māori.
We've done an episode on karanga, and I think we've done one on whaikõrero, but I think maybe something we can talk about to do with karanga is, because I've had people ask me, and I'm a, you know, I acknowledge I'm a tāne, so I don't want to get any of our wāhine out there that are apt and knowledgeable in the karanga to get their backs up with anything, any whakaaro I share, but as a boy growing up, I was around karanga a lot because, you know, my nanny done a lot of karanga.
Yeah. And you spent a lot of time with your nanny, eh?
Yeah, I've spent lots of time with my nanny and my auntie and my kaumātua. I think what I wanted to say about karanga is these days I see a lot of tap-taps. Like, someone go, oh, and I've got to do the tap-tap sometime too to remind or ask sometimes my wahine, and sometimes it's tētahi whaia that I'm accompanying or vice versa, to, you know, that this is a pertinent time to do a karanga. And it could be...
Well, because they're not actually only reserved for the marae.
That's right, and that's what I wanted to talk about. So I think when we think karanga, we think marae straight away, and rightly so, because that is the bastion of our tikanga and our practices and rituals and protocols and things like that. And that's where you'll hear the karanga mainly. But there are times where you'll hear the karanga in other places, e.g. an acknowledgement perhaps at a graduation.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I go to marae or hui, you know, one of our tikanga is to get up and thank the ringawera.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fitting for the wahine to do a karanga to acknowledge the ringawera as opposed to a male getting up to do a whaikōrero or mihi to the ringawera.
Okay.
And sometimes I think it's better. In the karanga as well, she can sort of, like, she puts these key kupu in there to say, oh, you know, it's time to go home, and she sort of like hurries the crowd up as well.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, so there's other instances where you can use karanga, or where karanga is used, I should say, by those that are knowledgeable in karanga. That's not always on the marae.
Yeah.
Birthdays are another one. One I remember is doing a karanga to the wedding cake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
a wedding cake?
Or as the wedding cake's being cut, or the birthday cake.
Is that more like, you know, not literally to the cake, but more it's a significant moment?
Yeah. And I think what we're missing in te ao Māori, and this is the same for whaikōrero, is a lot of the time you need to give the person the tap-tap to tell them, okay, this is the right time when you should get up. Whereas our tūpuna they just knew inherently within themselves, okay, this is the time to do a karanga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just came out naturally.
Well, it's just normal. It's just everyday life. Whereas we're sort of reclaiming things, the culture, that, we are learning as we're going. And we have to figure out when those right times are.
Koina. And, you know, another tētahi tika ngai roto i a tainui is a lot of whānau or kaumātua will stop at taupiri, which is the maunga between Ngārua Wāhi and Rāhui Pōkeka, or Huntly. And that is the maunga mountain that is sacred to Waikato and to the kingitanga. They'll stop there and the kuia or whaia will get out and do a karanga.
Yeah.
And it's quite neat, you know, and this could be any time during the day, and there's like, you know, hundreds of cars going past, it's all noisy, and this karanga is ringing out from the opposite side of the road if you're going towards Auckland from this way.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, as an acknowledgement. Yeah.
You know where Te waka o Tainui's buried, maketu, kawhia. So it's buried at Te Ahurea, that's what it's called. We went there on a class noho for my te aupukitanga class, and our kaiako got one of the women from our class group to do a karanga as we ascended Te Ahurea. Yeah, I thought that for me, I at the time was like, oh, what's this about? But then when I thought about it, you know, we're in these significant areas. You got the waka buried right there, and we're going up to Te Ahurea, which was the first or one of the first wānanga sites.
It was for Tainui anyway.
For Tainui, yeah.
That's where the wānanga was first established. Yeah, the Sacred House of Learning was established firstly at Te Ahurea and then branched out from there to other places. So, yeah, that was fitting. So that's a good example of karanga being used in a non-marae setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not just as a ritual of encounter.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's many times when we have whakatau or pohiri at places that aren't the marae.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, we still uphold our tikanga in those places. Going to do a karakia is another one. Going through, I can't remember, it was in the Ngāi Areare anyway, and it was a wāhi tapu, same sort of a thing. Acknowledgement of the wāhi tapu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all sorts. I don't think there's a kaupapa where you cannot or should not karanga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just mentioned whakatau and pohiri. What's the difference? Because I've been to so many whakatau lately that people have said, oh, this is just a whakatau. But it seems the same to a pohiri to me.
Well, a whakatau still holds the same elements of a pohiri or the principles of a pohiri.
Yeah, because they always have a karanga.
Well, not always.
Oh, the ones I've been to, sorry.
Yeah. A whakatau doesn't always have a karanga, and therein lies the difference.
Okay.
And whakatau, it's not a new word, but it's a new concept, I should say. And what I don't like is taking its mana away by saying it's just a whakatau. It's not a pōwhiri.
Yeah.
It still holds the same mana because you're acknowledging somebody.
Yeah.
Or you're acknowledging something, but it might be bereft of all the bells and whistles of a pōwhiri, so to speak. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I just figured, because I do the online marae profile project that's being run by Waikato Tainui, and they document all of the Tainui maraes. And so every time we go to a new marae to do our project, we have a whakatau. There's always a karanga, there's whaikõrero, we do a hariru, we go for a cup of tea afterwards. We dress smartly. I'm like, this seems the same as a pōwhiri to me.
Yeah, on all those occasions, though, have you come through the gate? Or, have some of them started in the wharekai?
No, not in the wharekai, no. Always in the wharenui. So I'm like, maybe it's just being called a whakatau because there's only a very small group of us.
Yeah, see, that would be still a pōwhiri to me. Whereas a whakatau on a marae, in the marae setting, would be the people are akin to the marae. Or for me, if I went to a raukawa marae, tētai marae he raukawa, and it was for a hui, I wouldn't expect to have a pōwhiri. I would be comfortable for the hui to start in the wharekai or wherever, the wharenui or wharekai, and then for someone to stand up and then mihi ki au, and ko tana mai he whakatau i au I roto i te whare.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have to go through all of the formalities of a regular or a pōwhiri, so to speak.
I see.
Yeah.
So my ones that I thought were whakatau are actually pōwhiri.
I think those are pōwhiri.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And sometimes, in some whakatau, again, the tikangas with the iwi kāinga or whoever's running the whakatau, sometimes you don't have an opportunity to respond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're the primary...
That's different because we're such an inclusive culture.
Well, competitions are an example. So when you start at a whakataitai, some will get up, do the karakia, and then some will do a mihi whakatau, but nobody gets up out of the audience. It's straight into it.
Yeah.
See, so that's an example of whakatau.
Okay, yeah.
Or an event like an awards night or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So those are instances of whakatau.
Another question about karanga, and this is from Awaroa Rapana. Nā kupu o te karanga tangihanga aha ko te iwi. Tērā pea he rerekē ngā kupu o Tainui karanga ki ētahi atu iwi.
Well, yeah, it could be some of the words. I think I understand she's asking if the words that iwi use in their karanga e tangihanga differ because
Yeah.
of the iwi they're in, or from, I should say. Well, yeah, they would, like in the whaikõrero or like in just talking, because of the rangi or the mita,
Yeah.
and the kupu a iwi or the words that are special or unique to that particular iwi. So yes, they would be.
Yeah, because it's not like there's one set structure, eh?
For karanga,
Yeah.
well, there is, if hui mate, as they would say up north, as opposed to a hui tangata ora, which is a kaupapa or hui for the living, the karanga would change slightly, because in a hui mate, as you're coming onto the marae, your first karanga or reply, I should say, would be to the whare tupuna and the mate, or straight to the mate even.
Yeah.
And you will hear the words hoki wairua mai
Yes.
of the people
yeah.
that are calling. So know that the structure does change slightly between a tangihanga and a hui tangata ora.
Okay. Going back to that karanga wānanga that I was at, I was just taking the photos there, but it's quite interesting, my job, how I'm there as a photographer, but you still kind of take it in, what's happening. And a lot of the time I do take it in because it's kaupapa that are interesting to me and that I want to learn about anyway.
Yeah.
But I remember in this karanga wānanga, one of the challenges were to not use haere mai, to use a different word from haere mai. So what are some other examples that people could use?
Well, I'm a bit iffy in giving kupu, because there's tons of wāhere Māori out there that have their kupu, and I wouldn't want a woman telling me what to say in my whaikõrero.
True.
So I feel I might be treading on some toes if I was to feed some kupu nationally and internationally via the mic.
Yeah.
But I think the whakautu, or the answer to your question, lies in that example you gave. And this is the evolution of karanga, and I suppose that's a good wānanga too, an evolution of whaikõrero. If you listen to karanga and whaikõrero today, and you listen to whaikõrero 10 years ago, and then 20 years ago, and then 30 years ago, you'll see a big difference and shift in the type of language, how we're using the language. I notice now in karanga and whaikõrero, particularly karanga, just speaking about karanga, wāhine use more kupu whakarite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the language, or how karanga is embellished, like that kupu, has come a long way, because wāhine are being encouraged to do so.
Yeah.
I think it's good because creative keeps you fresh,
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, so my tip would be, I wouldn't want to give any words, but is to go out there, and if you have started doing the karanga, to sit with the people that have the mōhiotanga or the mātauranga first and foremost, and give you the blessing to do that rangahau, because you might stand up on your papakainga if you're kai karanga or you've been given that honour to. Me ara wake, Nani turns around and goes, hey, what's that kupu? Hey, that's not our kupu. We don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does happen.
So I must admit, even though, you know, I like to move with the times, and I'm quite a creative person, and I like doing new stuff and things like that, but I'm really a traditionalist at heart. And when I hear a karanga, I like hearing the new karanga, if you want to call it that, or the creativity in karanga.
Yeah.
But I still like to hear hara mai as well
Yeah.
in a karanga.
Okay.
Because when I hear hara mai, I think of my old people.
Okay, yeah.
I think my advice would be to, you know, be careful in your creativity and don't stray too far from what makes karanga, I guess, and from some of those words that our kuia used. And the same for the whaikõrero.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. I mean, I like being creative in the whaikõrero because I do a lot of whaikõrero. That's part of my job. Part of my job as pautikanga for te wānanga o te roa is I whaikõrero.
Yeah.
I sit on the paipai at my marae. I'm a speaker for the iwi, and I say this in humility. And lately, I've been honoured to be a speaker when we follow the king and on Tūranga Wai. So, and some, I don't know, some tāne might be out there listening. So I'm like doing whaikõrero weekly.
Yeah.
Because it's very different to somebody who may only do a whaikõrero once every couple of months, or maybe even once a year.
Yeah.
I'm doing a whaikõrero once a week, sometimes even more. So to change it up for me and to stay ahead of my game or on my game and to stay sharp and to make it entertaining for me as someone, as an orator, I like to be creative.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, but at the same time, I like to maintain those old school things.
Yeah. Actually, while we're on whaikõrero, so I remember watching the whaikõrero series on Māori television, and you're actually in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what episode or anything I heard this on, but I remember hearing somebody mention that there's actually different roles on the pāpai. Like, so the first speaker in their whaikõrero has a specific role. Another speaker should acknowledge tūmatauranga, is that right? And then there's different roles for each person on the pai.
You'll hear mostly in Mātātua the expression of building your whaikõrero. And of course the kawa in Mātātua and throughout other regions is mainly the kawa throughout Aotearoa or Aotearoa and Te Waipounamu is paeke. The tuiwi, paeke, which is all one side and then the other.
Yeah.
So the tangata whenua and then the manuhiri. Depending on where you go there, down in Whanganui, it changes at
Back
a
and
tangihanga.
forth?
No, in Whanganui, they're paeke, but it changes around the other way. So at a tangihanga, all of the manuhiri will go first.
Okay.
Then the tangata whenua, because their whakaaro is the manuhiri have come, to speak to the two pāpaku, so they should get the first kōrero.
That makes sense. That's nice.
Yeah, so there's a little difference there. The only two iwi that are tāutuutu or waka is Tainui and Te Arawa.
Mm-hmm.
And Tauranga Moana is an exception to that rule because while they are mātātu, they descend from mātātu and Tāketimu, you will find a lot of the marae in Tauranga tāutuutu, not paeke. So that's something for you all to know. Yeah, so you'll hear this expression, I've heard it mainly in Tūhoi, of building your whaikōrero.
Yeah.
And this is when paeke is the kawa. And your whaikōrero is build your pautoko mano, your tūāpapa, your pautoko mano or the heart pole, the ridge pole, the tāhuhu, and the heke, which come off
beautiful.
the kaupapa.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be anywhere in there where, because you're not going to get another shot. Your paipai isn't going to get another shot. So every speaker reinforces the whaikōrero that the first speaker has started to build or add on to. Yeah, and there shouldn't be anything that you leave out. And I think that is more difficult than tāutuutu because with tāutuutu, which is one for one, tangata whenua, and then, it alternates between the tangata whenua and the manuhiri, is if the manuhiri says something the tangata whenua doesn't like, well, they get an opportunity to reply. Yeah. Whereas paeke, you don't get that opportunity. But the whakaaro with paeke and the orators of paeke is that you build your whaikōrero so strong that there shouldn't be anything there to bring your whare down.
I love that concept. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but in tāutuutu, I think now in Tainui, we seem to go down the paipai, but talking to a lot of my kaumātua, say we'll start at this end and then work down. Mm-hmm. But a few of my korero had said that it wasn't like that when they were young. Yeah. It would start with one, and then whoever had the best reply to the manuhiri, he was the one that would get up.
Oh, okay.
You don't necessarily go down the paipai like we do today.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about.
Yeah, that seems like a debate.
Well, sometimes it's not a debate. It is sometimes a debate. And then there's other times where someone from, I don't know, Taranaki might come. Yeah. And then you want to respond with their whakapapa, but the next speaker doesn't actually know that whakapapa. Say someone go, well, kei te mohi koe ki nā whakapapa, it's better that you get up to respond. You can connect them because regardless of whatever the kaupapa is, karanga and whaikōrero, one of the big kaupapa for both of those tikanga is to connect one another and whakawhanaunga. Yeah. So regardless of what the kaupapa is, or regardless of if there's, some tension and things, and usually if there's a hui, you will touch on it in the pōwhiri, in the mihi, but you'll leave the guts of it for later in the hui. Yeah. You must fulfill your obligations, your tikanga of whakamana i tō manuhiri and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So you shouldn't be slandering one another in the pōwhiri. No,
well, that's more a point to break the ice and
exactly.
all get on the same level.
And then when you have your wānanga later, your hui.
Yeah, that's when you dive into it.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about karanga and whaikōrero.
I know.
There's so many things that we could talk about.
We've already pulled out so many of them. Just even knowing that tāutuutu is the back and forth one, and that's the name for that. And paeke is the kawa where you do one whole side and then the other side. For me, knowing those two names now is a good step.
Yeah, and tāutuutu is also known as kōkirikiri, is the other one.
Kirikiri or
Yeah.
kirikiri?
Kirikiri.
Kirikiri.
Taututu kōkirikiri is the other one.
Kirikiri. Cool. So I have seen in whaikõrero people who are non-Māori delivering whaikõrero. But what about in karanga?
Yeah, interesting concept, because, and we've had this discussion, or I've had this discussion in lots of wānanga, and I don't want to say there isn't a wairua concept in whaikōrero, but the karanga is, I would say, holds a spiritual element that the whaikōrero does not, and holds a connection to the ira wahine that the whaikōrero holds with the ira tāne, but in some iwi, you will get some wahine who are permitted to speak as per the tikanga of that iwi. Whereas I don't know any iwi that allow tāne to get up to karanga. And again, this is another wānanga because, we can talk about transgender or transsexual era kōrero, and I think there has been some kōrero on that, but we're not going to talk about that. The whakaro that I've heard from practitioners of karanga are that they're not really okay with wahine Pākehā to do karanga.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been brought up on the marae. Two, they're bereft of a iwi, they're bereft of connection too. But that's not saying that wahine Pākehā do not, because there are a lot of wahine Pākehā who have been brought up or they've married into a hapu or iwi and they've spent a lot of time with that iwi. So they've spent time with kaumātua, with kuia. But this brings us, there's so many things we could deliberate, because also I'm not keen on tamariki doing karanga.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'm not keen. Well, you see it in kapahaka.
Oh, yeah, true.
You see it all the time. And, kāre anō te toto ki arere. And that was one tikanga, is that, me wahine koe. And I think we're putting these things on our tamariki because of te ao kapahaka.
Yeah.
And things in there. Some people will agree with me and some people won't. I've told my niece, who's at the kura Māori, wharekura, she came home one day and told me that she'd done the karanga because she was asked to. And she was fine, and I know he pai tōna reo, and she's got a lovely voice for it. And I said to her, me kaua koe e karanga. Never again. And she said, hai? And I says, hea nā tikanga o te karanga? And she shrugged her shoulders and I go, that's why. You can't tell me hea nā tikanga o te karanga. Well, she got one right. She said, me wahine. And I said, ka pai. It goes, mau pane koti, ka pai. Hea no etai o aua. But in saying that, there's a lot of wahine pakeke who wouldn't be able to answer that either. They've just been taught to karanga, told to karanga, but they may not have had a wānanga with the concepts of karanga and te iho atua o te karanga or its godly origins, I should say. Yeah.
Some people, when I photograph pōhiri, and it's something I've done a lot of, but some people don't want the karanga to be photographed. So it's not that they were camera shy or anything, but it was just that in their view, the karanga was one of the more sacred parts of the pōwhiri. And I guess that maybe because they're opening the doors, they're that first voice. Well, that's what I gathered from it anyway. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that's cool. That's my thought on that there are still those of us or wahine that think like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I support that. I fully support that. The manas with the kai karanga, we're sort of touching a little bit on technology in the tikanga space. Yeah. It's one that we are trying to find a balance with, and it's been a long, long time. People think it's new. It's not. You listen to the old recordings and archives and things like that, and a lot of our tupuna were very reluctant to record for Mervyn McLean. So they got a big waiata mō te archive in Auckland University. He went around the country with this old recorder years and years ago. Yeah. And they were very reluctant in recording their mō te and karakia. But his was keeping a record of it. So I understand that. Yeah. Yeah, I understand it would be really... I wouldn't want to have karakia recorded because I would think that was too sacred and I wouldn't want those going out to everybody. I think the thing is we forget with karanga is, and this is the spiritual element, is one of the key principles of karanga is to bring or call the spiritual world. And that is why the karanga takes on that sacred embodiment. And that level they call it the ihi rangaranga. So it goes on another frequency, a spiritual frequency, I should say. And that'd be a reason why those people wouldn't want to be photographed. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So there's a kupu for you, ihi rangaranga. So
Ihi rangaranga.
Yeah, spiritual frequency.
Well, there you go, everybody who's always like, oh, women should be equal and get to whaikõrero as well. Well, you know what? We get a way cooler job.
That's right. And hey, I just want to say too, and the thing is, because we've got so many holes on our pātai and in our marae in terms of people that had those responsibilities and were able to carry them out with the mana that those responsibilities needed. Now we're trying to be super Māori falas and falasistas. And we got to be the everything. We got to know how to whaikõrero. We got to know how to karakia. We got to know how to open house. We got to know, and same with the waine. She's got to know how to mōtete. She's got to know how to karanga.
Yeah.
She's got to know, whereas in the old days, again, people had their roles and not everybody done the karanga. Not all wahine done the karanga.
No.
Not all men done the whaikõrero. But in our effort to fill those responsibilities, we have these mass wānanga. I'm not putting them down. I'm not saying we don't do that. But, yeah, there were women that didn't do the karanga. And I think if you heard the voices of some, you
could understand why.
Just like not everybody should sing on the karaoke.
But we still do it.
Patapatai.
We recently got a message from Olivia Violet Robinson. And she has written here in her message, I would love an opinion on using the phrase ngā mihi. I was slayed in public for asking my son to use the term ngā mihi fire to acknowledge and thank the fire he was addressing. I was totally embarrassed and have lost a bit of confidence around using te reo. I would really love some feedback if you have time to respond. I would gladly accept a mistake too if I used it inappropriately, although I hear it used all the time. And I hear that used all the time as well. And although I've often wondered to myself, what is a better way to say thank you without saying ngā mihi? I actually don't know. So I'm on this lady's page.
Yeah, well, firstly, I'm empathetic that she went through that. And tēnā koe, thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how you felt. And I'm not apologising for the person that berated you in public. But there's no need to do that. And I think we have spoken about on some of the other shows about those of us that are a bit more knowledgeable when it comes to supporting others and correcting them when they need to be, not to do it so publicly and don't do it in a way where they're going to be, he pati wairua tērā. He pati wairua tērā mahi. It's their wairua.
Yeah.
It takes their wairua.
Yeah, it feels bad to be whakaiti.
I'm not sure if it was the ngā mihi that got or what, and it's hard for me to comment because I don't know the situation or the context of it. Generally, ngā mihi has become popular.
Yeah.
It's not something I use. Ngā mihi means greetings. It's more informal than formal. If I was to use ngā mihi, I'd put something on it. So I'd say, like he said, ngā mihi whaia. More correctly, you'd say ngā mihi e te whaia. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Ngā mihi kia tātou, ngā mihi mō whakaro, so greetings to you for thinking about me. But now it's been sort of used as a standalone, ngā mihi.
Yeah.
And people say, well, it means greetings. What if you want to greet someone? You wouldn't just say, he mihi. You'd say, he mihi tēnei kia koe mō te, or whatever. You know what I mean? But ngā mihi has become popular, and it's become a popular sign-off on emails, on texts, and also in passing by.
Yeah.
I feel for you, Olivia. Yeah, all I can offer is I wouldn't have berated you or your son like that in public. I don't think that was correct at all. Yeah, but there are other ways you can use ngā mihi instead of just ngā mihi standalone. So it's a bit hard for me to comment on that because I don't know the full context.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was it on the marae? Was it at what was the event? What was the kaupapa? Yeah. But yeah, ngā mihi has become sort of a greeting that we've sort of, ngā mihi.
It's sort of like become a slang, would you say?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's become popular probably over the past, 5 years. I've noticed it being used more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would ngā mihi o te wā be
Yep,
a
ngā
bit more
mihi o te wā.
appropriate?
Yep.
And can be used in a lot of different settings?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's one I used it on the emails. Tēnā koe, ngā mihi o te wā. Ngā mihi o te kirihimete.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ngā mihi o te tauhou.
And you hear, ngā mihi o te ata.
Oh, yeah.
Morning's greetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, those are new ways of greeting each other because we didn't really have a mōrena or morning was just like tēnā koe kia ora.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you've kind of sprung something else in my mind. On those mōrena type greetings, you know how there's pō marie and ata marie. What's the difference between pō marie and pōrero?
Pōrero. I don't use pōrero. One of my aunties didn't like pō marie as well.
Oh,
and,
really?
No, we never used it. And it started getting popular, I think, in the early 90s is when we started using pō marie.
Yeah.
It should be pō marie, but we say pō marie mostly. And same with ata marie.
A toito
Yeah.
on the...
Marie, peaceful. It doesn't
Marie,
mean good,
yeah.
it means peaceful. So have a peaceful night, peaceful morning. Ata marie.
Yeah.
Pō marie. Yeah, mōrena. Pōrero. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, well, because I've tried searching them before and I don't know. But I was going to ask next about pō ataro.
Pō ataro.
So I've heard that one is when it's nighttime, but it's after midnight.
Pō ataro.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, then you start getting into all these.
Super technical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to the Māori, I've heard ahi Māori.
Yeah, I've
Which
heard
is-
that too.
And I
which
was
is
like,
in the
nah,
afternoon.
and it makes sense, but it's just something I wouldn't use, myself.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right. Yeah. me
So just
using it.
going back to this fire, ngā mihi fire, so the better way to maybe have used that could have been ngā mihi e te whaia,
Yeah.
or ngā mihi nunui ki a koe.
Ngā mihi nunui kia koe te whaia. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then perhaps insert after there what you're actually giving the acknowledgement for
Yeah.
to her. Or is it just an acknowledge like a hello, like thank you?
Could they have even said instead just a simple tēnā koe? Or is that more
tēnā
a
koe
first
te
greeting?
whaia. Tēnā koe te whaia. I know, I use tēnā koe all the time. I think, tēnā koe and kia ora depends on the time and the person, but I still use tēnā koe with my good mates,
Yeah. Yeah.
It all depends on the situation.
Like, homai te pata, they give it to you.
Yeah.
Tēnā koe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. You've just cleared a little summing up. I just want to just quickly touch on these questions or suggestions from people. A recent one from Sam Bunge. I hope I'm saying that
Kia ora,
right.
Sam.
And they've said, kia ora e te whānau, he rārangi o ngā waiata o te wikitau. O ti rā, ka taia e au te whakarongo ngā waiata I Spotify, iTunes rānei, he playlist pia, ngā mihi mō tō koutou mahi.
There you
Mō
go.
tō
There you
koutou
go.
mahi.
Ngā mihi mō tō koutou mahi. Tā
Tika
koutou
ana.
mahi.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yes,
there you
yes,
go.
yes.
Tēnā koe.
And then going over to Kasten, I hope I've said that right, Kasten Yenu Anihana Woodman, who pretty much asked the same thing, if we could put together a Waiata o te Wiki playlist. And also Georgina Cleve. Well, guess what e te whānau? We have got something coming for you. Over the summer break, we're going to be on
That's right,
break.
we're going to be on a break.
Yeah! I can't wait. Well, anyway, over that summer break, we are answering all your prayers, and there will be 2, maybe 3 Waiata compilation episodes. Yeah, we'll be gone for about 2 or 3 weeks, and there won't be any normal podcasts playing because we'll be away lapping up the holidays, but there will be the Waiata compilations.
Ka pai.
I think that would be cool. I'd love to just jam that as a playlist.
There you go, jam in the car. And while we're on Waiata, hea te Waiata o te wiki.
This week's Waiata o te Wiki is Hautoa Matatika. This song actually features Tariao Tianga.
Kia ora, Tariao.
Woohoo! Kia ora, Tariao.
Multi-talented that Tariao, whakarongo mai.
is going to be about making choices. We are individuals all coming together to try and make a difference. We have to find a way for our tamariki and the supporters of Te Reo Māori.
Me mana tu te ona mata, me mana tu te ana mata. Kia hoe ngā taki atu ai, koa mata tika, kia uki te kaupapa, kia tika, kia humari, koa mata tika, kia uki te kaupapa, kia tika, kia humari.
Man, Taria's got such a unique voice.
He rōreka.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a kupu for you guys. He rōreka.
Rōreka.
Yeah, sweet sound.
Sweet voice. Was that the same as Manu Ti Ori Ori?
Manu Ti Ori Ori. I think Manu Ti Ori Ori is more of a kupu whakarite, whereas rōreka describes the voice of a Manu Ti Ori Ori.
Ah, oh, there you go, e te whānau.
There you
That's
go,
a
e
good
te
one.
whānau.
And that waiata is part of the Songs of Rangahau album brought to you by Te Wānanga o Te Aroa. And you can find that on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And it will also feature on our Waiata o Te Wiki Waiata compilation episodes. Love it.
Tu. So, harai te mei mau tāku tau aro mai. Wasn't a waste of time. Okay, paying attention by Taringa via Taringa to myself and Erica i tēnei rā. E mihi atu nei, do you have any closing comments?
I'd just like to point out that it's pretty cool that I get to be on this podcast, and it's like every week I'm here getting a private tuition from the Paraone Gloin. And just want to say thank you.
And it is my pleasure to have you on here too.
Tēnā koe.
Yeah, tino pai te wairua o a tāua kōrero rero. Nō reira ka mihi rā kia koe. And e mihi atu nei māua kia koutou e te iwi whānui. I te i ka Māui whakawhiti te moano rau kaua ki te waipounamu. O tira te ao whānui ko māua tēnei. Mai i te wānanga o te roa. I Taringa, tēnā koutou hei kona mai rā.
Ki yo, whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hook of force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira whakarongo pi kari mai. Hare mai, o Taringa hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Taringa. He mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe. Taringa, whakarongo mai.